child from me!
Restrain your client or I'll have an officer remove her.
Sorry, Your Honor. Raquel, please. Please. Mr. Dillon, your client is now seeking sole custody of the child? Surely that is some kind of ploy.
No, you heard me right the first time. We're demanding temporary sole custody.
What the hell are you doing? It's not what we talked
Okay,
about.
stop.
It's not
Calm
what we
down.
talked
Let him
about.
explain.
Explain what?
Down.
People, I will have order in this court or I will halt this proceeding right here and now.
Sorry, Your Honor.
You, staple your client to her chair if necessary. And in case you've forgotten, Mr. Dillon, it is customary to let your client know what you're doing. After all, it's his case.
How preposterous is this? Mr. Dillon is insulting my client and the court and his own client's intelligence.
I'm not insulting anybody, Your Honor. I had a change in strategy. I didn't have time to work it out with my client.
You called this hearing, counselor, not me. I expect you and your client both to be prepared.
Well, 10 minutes is all I ask, Your Honor.
10 minutes is all you'll get. I intend to get through this tonight, and I aim to be home in time for dinner.
You'll be there, Your Honor, I promise you. Thank you.
Give me one good reason why I shouldn't fire you right now.
I'm not alone. I'm waiting for someone.
Well, that's just too bad for both of us. It's too bad for me because I missed out on the pleasure of your company. And too bad for you because such a spectacular woman shouldn't have to wait for any man. He's very, very lucky and very, very rude.
Well, for your information, he's not late. I'm early. I wanted to find a nice table with great light. I want to look perfect for him.
You know, I think I hate this guy. But not to worry. You've succeeded. You look ravishing.
Thank you. But I still can't accept this. Ryan wouldn't like it.
Your boyfriend's the jealous type.
Husband. And if I were you, I wouldn't wait around to find out.
All right, Derek, I got your message. What did Gillian say?
Well, Ryan initially married her for her money. He was also nailed to WRCW for advertising kickbacks.
Look, Derek, we're not trying to arrest this kid for a white-collar crime, all right? I need acts of uncontrollable rage, violence.
Yeah, I hear you, Jack, but this is what we got so far.
Well, it's not enough now, is it? I couldn't arrest him for jaywalking, let alone convict him for this rape with this kind of police work.
Look, what if this one doesn't go to trial?
No, you look. This thing is going to trial, Derek, and if you can't find what I need, then I will.
Look, Jack, I'm just putting it out there that maybe we ought to turn over the possibility
Look, put
that Ryan
this
might
out
not
here.
be the guy.
Ryan Lavery did it, my sister ID'd him, and that should be enough for you. I'm not going to let him get away with this. I'm going to see that he pays for it if it's the last thing I do.
I needed you to believe me more than I realized.
Have you eaten yet?
First Thanksgiving and now this. Why are you always trying to feed me, Edmund?
I don't know. Maybe because I'm always starving. Come on. I'll treat you to a nice hot meal.
Now that you mention it, I am starving.
I knew that.
Oh, you did?
Yes, I did. There's something else I know that you didn't know. They're right downstairs. They serve the best crab cakes this side of Maryland.
Oh, why, sir, in our very own Valley Inn?
Uh-huh. Come on, let's mosey on down and grab a bite.
Just give me a second to freshen up.
Your husband's a real hothead, huh?
You know, everyone is so wrong about him. He's not some hot-headed rapist. Ryan's a wonderful man. I just don't want him to find me with you.
You're afraid he'll break me in half just for talking to you?
Well, he might. He's really strong.
I can take care of myself.
Yeah, I'm sure you can. You seem to be very well endowed.
Endowed? English isn't your first language, is it?
Hungarian. How did you know?
It's your turn of phrase.
Oops. I busted the English language again.
No. You bent it. Just a little. Not much. It was very charming. You're very charming.
Well, listen, don't be charmed. I can't have another man fall in love with me. No more lovers or admirers. I can't do that.
Well, can't we just be friends?
Come on, look at you. If you looked like a troll, that would be one thing, but you're a gorgeous, handsome man. No, I can't get into any more trouble.
Well, fighting the men off with a stick. Well, don't worry. Sounds like your life's a little too complicated as it is. I'll make myself scarce.
Thank you for being a gentleman.
This time I am. Next lifetime, don't count on it.
Mom, where's the Soviet Union?
The Soviet Union doesn't exist anymore.
You mean it got swallowed into a giant sinkhole and disappeared into the earth?
You know, I'm not gonna let you watch any more science fiction movies for a while. No, the Soviet Union disbanded for a lot of complicated political reasons, and now it is called Russia. Boy, do I suddenly feel really old.
You don't look old.
You really know how to sweet-talk your mom, don't you?
I wish Dad had a giant globe or something. This map is very hard to read.
Well, your dad should have a globe considering he thinks he owns the world.
Hey, you know, Tad does have a globe. Maybe we could call him up and ask him if we can come over and look at it.
Tad, huh? You wouldn't be trying to play matchmaker, would you?
Me? No way! Jamie might try and do that stuff, but not me.
Sweetie, I know you guys are disappointed that we're not going to be a family. But, we'll all be friends.
Even you and Tad?
Well, I certainly hope so. Look, just promise me that you're not going to pull any of that parent trap kind of stuff, okay?
But I thought you were happy with Tad.
It's just a little bit more complicated than that, honey. Just, okay, trust me. Now, do you have any more countries I can hopefully help you identify?
No, I'm done with geography. But I do have a couple more math problems to do.
Oh, great. Well, let's knock them out. I'm much better at math anyway.
Not as good as I am. Junior, how's everything going?
Hey, Dad. Where's that the globe that you have, you know, that shows how much of the world you own?
Sweetie, it's math time now. Why don't you run upstairs and get your book?
Better yet, why don't you get started yourself? I want to talk to your mom alone for a minute.
Okay.
You didn't really have to cut short your trip. Junior and I were getting along just fine.
Well, I'm very glad to hear it. In fact, I'm not surprised considering you had such a wonderful bonding experience on the rafting trip. So, I'm not surprised at all.
Is that why you're whisking him away to Pigeon Hollow? Away from the father who loves him?
Adam, I'm not whisking him away. As a matter of fact, I have decided that we're going to spend the holidays here.
Well, that's wonderful. Exactly what are you up to?
You cannot let this happen. You cannot let them take my son from me. Keep cool. You're Max's mother. The only parent he's ever known. Whatever Dylan's up to, no way is the judge going to take your son away from you.
I never asked for full custody. We swore we weren't gonna try to take Max away from Raquel, and you pull this?
It's a strategy. I was trying to explain it to you and
Please,
Haley.
don't
The judge
lawyer
walked
talk
in.
me.
Will you calm down and let him explain? You can explain this, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm trying to kill two birds with one stone here. Right now, I got a temporary custody hearing. I got to lay groundwork for the ultimate divorce and custody hearing then.
Okay, but I never wanted to take Max away from his mother. She's done a great job raising him. And I'm not gonna let either of them get hurt because of your groundwork, your strategy, or whatever you want to call it.
It's not gonna happen, Mateo. No judge in his right mind is gonna take the kid away from the mother. But we're negotiating here, we're bargaining. I gotta go in high so I end up with more than crumbs. If I ask for visitation, you're gonna see the kid 5 minutes a day. It's a dance, that's all it is. You got me?
It's not a dance. It's my son's life we're talking about.
And I want you in your son's life. This divorce thing is a real mess. It could go on for months. But right now, we got to do everything in our power to make sure she doesn't blow town with your kid.
Come on. She wouldn't do that.
She's already tried.
Are you sure that they can't take him away from me? Is there anything you aren't telling me, Raquel? I have to know everything. Any skeletons in your closet. Anything Dylan can use to fight for custody. No, nothing. Excuse me. Where are you going? Recess is almost over. I'm just gonna go to the ladies' room. No. What's really going on? Look, I just need a few minutes head start, okay? Just tell them I went to the restroom. And by the time they figure out that I'm gone, Max and I will be long gone from here. Just help me out here, okay? Pay close attention now, Raquel. If you flee with your son, they're gonna arrest you for kidnapping. And you're gonna find yourself without an attorney. But I can't just let them take him from me. They won't. Don't do anything foolish. It's gonna be okay.
I found her last night with her bags packed, headed towards her car. If I'd been there 15 minutes later, we would have had our own episode on USA's Most Wanted.
Uncle Trevor had some pals on the force watch her motel room all night.
Was she lost her mind?
Well, I'm sure, I don't blame her, but that doesn't mean she wouldn't make Max disappear.
We got to clamp down, keep her from bolting.
I need to talk to you.
My client has nothing to say to you.
Trevor said you tried to skip town with Max?
I did.
You just gonna bring him into my life, then rip him out?
Mateo, I was afraid.
I've been straight with you, I've been honest with you, even when it cost me, and I expect the same in return.
And I've always trusted you.
Still,
but look where it's gone.
You still can trust me. Now I don't think I can trust you.
Mateo, can we please just go somewhere and talk
No.
about this? Absolutely not.
Listen, you take your lawyer's advice, all right, and I'll take mine. It's up to the judge from here on out. Do what you gotta do.
You got it.
Mr. Dillon, is your client up to date?
He sure is, Your Honor. All aboard.
So your petition for sole custody stands?
Yes, sir.
On what grounds would you have me remove the child from its mother?
Child's mother is a flight risk, Your Honor. Last night, I found her with her bags packed, ready to roll.
Mrs. Santos, is this true?
Your Honor, my client was not under house arrest. She was free to go for a drive or to go shopping.
Shopping with her bags packed, luggage, Your Honor? That's a new one on me.
Quiet, counselors. Answer the question, young lady. Were you attempting to flee with your child?
Yes.
What's the worst present that you've ever gotten?
A tie. Yeah, one of those theme park characters playing golf, you know?
Yeah.
How about you?
A poodle skirt?
A poodle skirt? You're a little young for that, aren't you?
Yeah. My mother, Molly Fisher.
She gave it to me when I turned 16. She said it's an heirloom for the 50s, and it's sure to make a comeback. I'm still waiting.
You're gonna be waiting.
Anything you'd like to add, Mr. Dillon?
Yes, Your Honor. Mrs. Santos lives with her son at a rundown motel on the edge of town. You're familiar with the Pinecone Motel, Your Honor?
Not familiar, but I know of it.
Yeah. Well, my client, Mateo Santos, has offered to relocate Max and his mother for the benefit of the child. He's also offered generous financial support, enough that Mrs. Santos could attend school. Now, all of these generous offerings have been flatly refused.
Your client offered bribes. Mrs. Santos received nothing in writing.
Whoa, 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 I got a felt tip right here. We could write it up. Would that make you happy?
Your Honor, certainly you can see how my client would feel railroaded by these people. She came to Mr. Santos and told him about their child. She did so freely, with the expectation that the news would be well received. She certainly didn't expect to be pounced on by Mr. Santos and his lawyer like the predators that they are.
Your Honor, that's a cheap shot.
Counselors, no more insults, please. Mrs. Santos, I'd like to hear from you. You may approach.
Yes.
Is it true Mr. Santos offered you financial support?
Yes. Look, I've struggled, and he was very generous. But that's not the reason that I came here. That's not the reason that I wanted him to meet Max.
If it's been so hard, why didn't you accept his support?
Well, because it was like they were trying to buy me off. See, I figured if they put me through school, then they would feel like they were justified in taking my son from me.
So you decided to flee.
Your Honor, I was scared. I don't want to lose my little boy.
I understand. But you don't deny the fact that Mateo Santos is the boy's father, do you?
No. I've never been with anyone but Mateo.
Then that doesn't change the fact that you're attempting to flee now. Amounts to kidnapping.
No, Your Honor, please. Look, I am the only parent that he knows. I'm his mommy. Mateo, I don't think that you want to steal him. I really don't. And I know that you're having problems with this thing that's going on with Haley, but that doesn't mean that...
Your Honor, I object.
No, I'd like you to explain what you mean, Mrs. Santos.
Haley can't have her own children. And look, I really understand, and I know that it's hard for you, but that doesn't mean that she should be able to have my baby. That doesn't mean that she can take him away from me just because she can't have her own. Please do not let them have my baby. Don't let them take my baby from me.
All right, Jack, here's the printout from the Des Moines PD.
Just give me the highlights, will you?
Well, minor JD stuff. I mean, brawls, drag racing incident, minor vandalism, some speeding violations. But check out the second page. Reports of possible abuse by his parents. It seems Ryan's home is a veritable war zone. Neighbors routinely complained about the racket coming from the Lavery house.
I heard his parents were alcoholics, but this abuse issue, that's going to be key for us.
Yeah, neighbors were afraid for the mother and for the kids.
What kids? You mean this guy has siblings? Where are they?
Yeah, Jack, look, no details yet, but I'm working on it.
Good. Now this is good. It's coming together, Derek. You see what I'm saying now? That abusive background, a rebellious nature. This, my friend, this is the anatomy of a rapist.
How would you like your photo done by Tempo Star photographer? I think Jack would treasure that more than anything else.
Edmund, you're a genius. Yeah, that's it. You are the most thoughtful man I have ever met.
Hello, Edmund. Kid? Are we having fun yet?
It's been a while since you've had a Pine Valley Christmas.
Yes, it has.
I assume Tad Martin had something to do with it?
No, as a matter of fact, Tad had absolutely nothing to do with it. Junior simply wanted to stay, and I thought, why not? And that's it. That's all there is to it.
I see. Brandy?
No, thank you.
You must have been quite busy in Paris. You only called Junior once at Thanksgiving.
I know, it's that time difference. I never quite get it right.
Yes, that can be quite irksome, can't it? Did you and Lenny visit all the usual spots?
Yes, we did.
How'd the Eiffel Tower look?
Picture perfect.
What about the changes?
Well, it looked pretty much the same to me. I mean, a little sprucing up aside, the Eiffel Tower is the Eiffel Tower.
You were never in Paris. The countdown to the millennium is in lights on the Eiffel Tower. You would never have missed seeing that. Where have you been, Dixie?
I don't owe you an explanation, Adam. Now, I'm going to bed. Junior and I will be leaving first thing in the morning, going over to Uncle Paul.
No, Junior's staying here with me, where he is happy and where he's settled in. You can go anywhere you like, but Junior is staying here with me.
I am the custodial parent, Adam. It is my call.
What kind of a parent disappears for weeks on end and with no explanation whatsoever?
I explained.
You didn't. You lied. Where were you?
Miss Cootie, you have a guest.
Yeah, she does, doesn't she? Thank you, Winifred.
I heard shouting. Is there a problem?
Well, young man, that's just exactly what I've been trying to determine. Souvenir from Paris?
Mr. Santos, I'd like to hear from you now.
Your Honor, the first time I met Max, my son, it was on Halloween night. It was before I even knew he was my son. He came trick-or-treating to my door. And I could tell right off that he was a special little guy. And when Raquel finally told me that the same little boy was mine, I couldn't conceive how I helped create something so amazing. Something so perfect. And the first time I looked into Max's eyes, after knowing that he was my child, I can't explain it except to say that I knew where I'd been, and I knew where I was going. I knew I had to be part of this child's life, and I loved him instantly, Your Honor. Now, I couldn't be his father the first few years of his life, and that is nobody's fault. And I have nothing but respect and admiration for what Raquel has done. She's done a wonderful job. But I think that Max deserves his father as well as his mother. And that's all I want. I'm not trying to take anything away from his life. I'm just trying to add to it. And if she thinks that she can run away to keep me from him, she's wrong. I'll do anything it takes to find him. He's my son.
Thank you. Both. You'll have my decision in a few minutes.
Please forgive this interruption, but I must right a terrible wrong.
Gillian?
Miss Fisher, Ryan did not do this.
Gillian, please leave now.
Let me just first clear the air. I'm really sorry you were attacked. It must have been a horrifying experience, but it wasn't my Ryan. He wasn't even near that parking lot that night. He was driving around. He was really mad at me because I was having an affair with another man, and so that's why he said that he'd gotten lucky with someone because he wanted to punish me.
I was raped, and for him to call it getting lucky.
No, but he wasn't him.
Jillian, please leave now.
Edmund, this is my husband we are talking about, and I can't believe that you're going along with this. Ryan lived under your roof. He played with your children. He helped save Haley. He helped getting Junior back, and now you're turning against him? Ryan would never hurt any woman. Not ever.
Gillian?
Adam, this is my friend, Braeden. He works for Uncle Palmer. Braeden, this is Adam Chandler.
An honor to meet you, sir.
One of Palmer's boys.
Yeah.
And a friend?
Adam, you've just made one snide remark too many. Maybe I should ask Braeden to help me with my bags.
Well, maybe I should ask you to tell me the truth. Now, before you left here for wherever it is you've been, you couldn't wait to burn rubber out of Pine Valley. And then you disappear for a few weeks, and you come back, and suddenly you're staying the season. And to top it all off, in walks your friendly, Cortland-approved knight in shining armor. You're hiding something, Dixie. What is it?
It's none of your business.
Oh, then it is something, isn't it?
My life is off limits, Adam.
What you do affects my son. Now stop playing this mystery lady act and tell me what you're hiding.
Do you want to tell him or shall I?
I just want to be part of my son's life.
Sweetheart, you were compelling. What you said to that judge was very touching.
You got to him, I could tell. And what she said about you, Tink, is gonna hurt her in the end.
Yeah.
Ryan, why don't you take your wife and get out of here?
Excuse me? This is a public place. We've got as much right to be here as you do.
Why don't you just admit that you made a stupid mistake and then this whole thing will be over?
All right, you made the mistake by marrying this monster.
He's not a monster, you conniving witch.
You're a fool.
And you're a vicious slut.
Shut up, Gillian.
Hey, don't talk to my wife that way. Why don't you tell the woman you're with here to shut her mouth?
What are you gonna do? You gonna attack me again? Is that what you're gonna say? Hey,
get your hands from the
That's it. That's it. Right, you're arrested.
Are you sure?
Right now, do it.
Ryan Ivory, you are under
cannot
arrest.
do this. My husband is innocent.
Haven't you heard of the telephone? It's this new age device that rings. You ask if you can come over.
You might have said no.
Well, a pepperoni pizza would have granted you entry.
Sorry. But what I have to say is very important. Will you hear me out?
Why do I get that sinking feeling?
Your ex-husband put me in a very difficult position today, Liza. Because of him, I was forced to tell a lie. A whopper, in fact.
Well, since you're so determined to keep your secret, then by all means, why don't you fill me in? You did offer.
You promised you wouldn't tell. How could you do this to me?
To what? What is so bloody confidential that you had to invent some sort of cockamamie cover story about going off to Paris? And what does this fine citizen have to do with it?
It's none of your business.
Look, there's no point in hiding this, Dixie. You're right. You should know.
Mr. and Mrs. Santos, I have considered all the arguments as to whom should have temporary custody of your son. Make no mistake, this was an extremely difficult decision, one that was further complicated by your actions in and outside of the courtroom. It is my duty to act in the best interest of the child. I must therefore grant temporary custody of the child, Mateo Santos Jr., to his father, Mateo Santos Sr. Mr. Santos, you are to deliver the child to his father as soon as possible. Good luck to all of you.
Look, you can't. How could this have happened? No. Look, see, you just can't do this. You can't do this.
You have the right to remain silent.
No, this
Anything
is
you
wrong.
say can and will be used against you in a court of
Come
law.
on, how
You have
can
the
you
right
do
to
this
attorney
after all
and
the
have
wonderful
attorney
things I
president
told you
request.
about my
Gillian, what have
husband?
you done now?
I was only trying to help you, Ryan.
While your help has got me arrested
settle
for
down.
rights.
Don't blame her. You're not being arrested for rape. Not yet. You're being arrested for assaulting that man right there.
What are you, nuts? He was making a move at my wife. I was protecting my wife.
Really? Gee, I missed that. Sorry.
Oh, I get this. Anything just to dump me into jail, right? Who cares about evidence? I bet you jaywalking would have landed me in the slammer too, is that right?
It's up to you, Edmund. Do you want to press charges of assault against this boy?
Come on, Edmund, please. Jack's trying to hurt Ryan. Don't let him do this, please.
I lived with you, man. I ate at your house. I played with your kids. You really think I'm a rapist?
Come on, Ed, please, Edmund. You can't be this cruel.
I need an answer, Edmund. Are you going to press charges or not?
Please, Your Honor, you don't understand. See, Max, you can't take him away from me. My little boy is all that I have.
Raquel, calm down.
Look, you said that I could keep my son and that they wouldn't be able to take him from me.
Your Honor, this ruling is highly irregular. Mrs. Santos has been the primary caregiver for the child's entire life. He's a little bit more than a baby. To take him and throw him into a strange home with people he hardly knows.
I've made my ruling, counselor.
He won't be able to sleep.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Santos, but my decision is final.
Look, please, you have to understand.
No, you have to understand, Mrs. Santos. Your attempt to flee with your son compelled the actions of this court.
Look, they don't know how to take care of a little boy.
Fight me any further, Mrs. Santos, and I will charge you with contempt.
No, you must sit down. Raquel, do you hear me?
He will be lost without me.
I'll go home with you. We'll get him ready to go with Mateo.
May I remind you all that this is a temporary situation. When your final divorce case is heard, a different resolution may be reached.
We understand, Your Honor.
Mrs. Santos, you will have supervised visits with your son.
Supervised? You mean I can't even be alone with my own son?
I'm sorry, but we can't afford the risk you might flee before your divorce case is heard and permanent custody is granted. As for you, Mr. Santos.
Yes, Your Honor.
You've been without your son long enough. Mrs. Santos, please deliver the boy this evening.
Please, Teo, don't do this to me. I beg you. I beg you. Don't do this to Max.
The trip to Paris was a diversionary tactic.
Tell me something I don't know.
There's no deep, dark secret here. Dixie chose to be secretive because she's been in New York City with me.
New York City?
Yeah. All-night dance clubs, poetry slams, carriage rides through Central Park. You getting the picture, or do I need to draw you a map of Manhattan, including the floor plan to my loft?
Oh, no, it won't be necessary. Your taste in men is as questionable as ever.
Thank you.
Jailbait, Dixie? Ooh, how old are you anyway?
Well, old enough to know a beautiful woman when I see one. How's your eyesight, speaking of age?
Well, he's not quite as pathetic as some of your former paramours. But just don't flaunt your cradle robbing in front of Junior.
Please, Adam, I would never do anything to upset Junior.
Lighten up. I'm happy for you. If this is your current cup of pleasure, then fine. Drink it up, by all means. It'll make what I have to say to you even easier.
Oh, no.
Grant me a moment alone with the mother of my son, please.
No problem. I'll get some air.
All right, Adam. What fresh hell are you about to spring on me this time?
If you don't want to press charges, I can just have, let's say, taken in on disturbing the peace.
Oh, my God. That's stretching it just a little bit, don't you think?
Arrest him. He assaulted me.
Oh, I got it. Like I'm a walking time bomb, right? Get the psychopath off the street. Go ahead, cuff me. Nothing like having City Hall out for your blood.
Come on, Edmund, you can't be this cruel.
Sorry, Gillian.
No, you are not sorry. I started this whole thing. I wanted to hit Kid Fisher. I am the would-be assaulter. Just arrest me.
Nobody's arresting you.
Well, they should. I caused as much trouble as Ryan did. Come on, Edmund. Why are you being so unfair?
Because Ryan belongs in jail. Now, I'm sorry you don't want to hear that, but it's only a matter of time before we prove that he attacked Kit.
No, I will never believe those things. Ryan showed himself and proved himself 1,000 times over. Come on, he saved my life in that explosion at Holidays. He worked harder than anybody else to catch that Lee Hawkins man.
Yes, he did. And then he raped Kit Fisher.
No, he did not rape anybody. Otherwise, I would never love him.
Face it, Gillian. You don't really know your husband, all right? You don't know him. You don't know what he's capable of. But Kit does.
It's not your family, Edmund. I am.
Do yourself a favor. Ryan called Trevor.
I thought loyalty meant something to the Andrashis. I thought family was important to you. And Ryan did not do this, Edmund. Please, why don't you believe that?
Let's go.
Ryan.
Come on, let's go.
I hate you, Edmund. I hate all of you, and especially you.
Did Dr. Clater say something to you about my pregnancy?
No, this was strictly personal, just between Adam and myself. This afternoon, after I ran into you outside of Dr. Clater's, Adam and I had a little chat, Chandler style. He did all the talking.
I take it he wasn't spreading holiday cheer.
He told me, in no uncertain terms, to stay away from you.
He did what?
According to Adam, you two are an item again, and I should keep my interest and my friendship elsewhere, permanently. You don't need me, and you most certainly don't need a nursemaid.
Nursemaid?
His word, not mine.
So much for mutual trust. I don't understand how he thinks that you're my nursemaid.
Beats me. I mean, the Liza that I've come to know is capable of taking care of herself.
To say the least.
She's strong, fiercely independent.
Yeah, right. And now for Chandler blood, where does he get off?
Well, he appears to be taking a proprietary interest in your pregnancy. No encouragement from you required.
I mean, actually, I did ask Adam to stay with me while I made my decision to have the amnio.
So you're going to be doing the amnio? What made you change your mind?
My AFP levels were high. Dr. Clater recommended it.
Oh, Liza. But hey, high AFP levels can mean nothing. It could be any number of things. It could be literally that you're carrying twins.
Yeah, I know. And Dr. Clater explained all that.
Look, I'm sure that your baby's fine. The amnio will only prove that.
I gotta tell you, this whole thing with Adam, it really infuriates me. I mean, my friends are my friends, David. If he wants to muscle somebody, why doesn't he bug his employees? He pays them enough to take his abuse. My friends are off limits.
I lied to him, Liza. I told him that I would stay away from you. I just wanted to make sure that you didn't have any trouble. But the truth is this. I can't keep away from you. I told Adam that I considered our relationship strictly professional, just to keep him quiet. Adam seems to think that you're his personal property. But I know the truth. Nobody owns Liza Colby. And that's why I find you absolutely irresistible.
Dixie, your life is your own. I promise you that. But my family is important to me, especially around the holidays.
I understand that, all right, and I appreciate that, but I already promised Uncle Palmer that Junior and I would be staying with him.
But Junior needs his family around him.
Well, there's a reason he calls Uncle Palmer Uncle.
Well, there's a reason he calls me Daddy. Haley needs her brother. Haley and Mateo have been through a terrible time lately. And Haley needs her family around her right now, and quite frankly, so do I. If I could have my son beside me at Christmas, it would be an answer to a prayer. Do you remember last year? I bought him a fishing pole for Christmas. I never got a chance to see him unwrap it. But that summer, he learned how to use that pole. And I'm the one who taught him. I'm the one who held his hand in mine while I taught him how to cast my hand, his hand, in my hand. I felt absolutely invincible. And I also felt quite vulnerable. Because I couldn't help but thinking, how long am I going to keep that image in my mind? Time goes so quickly. And contrary to my own PR, I am mortal.
Well, Junior worships you, Adam, of course. I want him to spend as much time with you as possible.
That is the greatest gift you could ever give me.
All right, well, why don't you just hand me over my Nobel Peace Prize and I'll be on my way.
What about tonight? You could just spend the night here and go to Palmer's tomorrow.
You are so pushy. You are never satisfied, are you?
Well, not unless I have to be. Just think about it. Okay? Think.
You can have your Paramore back.
Go ahead. Say it. If you were packing a .45 right now, I'd be a dead man.
Is there any way out of this?
No.
Tell the judge I changed my mind, that I don't want full custody.
What's it gonna sound like at the final divorce hearing if you say, no, you don't want custody of your kid now?
Listen, Uncle Trevor is the pro, Mateo.
What kind of judge takes a kid away from his mother?
I'm just as blown away by this decision as you are.
You have every right to get to know your son.
Yeah, on a shared custody basis, that's all I wanted.
Well, you got more than you asked for. He gave you an ace in the hole. When it comes to the final divorce hearing, you're gonna get at least shared custody. You gotta take what you've been given and go with it.
Oh, God. God. He can't do this. He can't take it from me.
That judge is a freak. I'll get this decision reversed.
Yeah, but when? When will that be?
Tomorrow. I'll start first thing tomorrow.
But what about tonight? And the next night? And the next night? My baby doesn't know these people. They've never nursed him through a fever. I'm not gonna do it. I will not do it.
Raquel, you can't.
They cannot have him.
You can't stop now. You have to turn over Max. Otherwise, you'll be jailed for contempt. What good are you going to do your son in jail?
Yeah, Dylan here. Damn. Where's the arraignment? All right, I'll be there in 5 minutes, okay? Yeah. Look, I gotta go. I gotta put out another fire. You gotta do what the judge is telling you to do. We'll deal with the fallout later.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's just us now, Mateo. There's no lawyer and no judges. We still have time to do what is right. What's right for our family. You, me, and our son. Mateo, a little boy's happiness is at stake here. You don't have to do what the judge wants you to do. Please just don't take Max from me tonight.
Marion is in love with Adam's brother, while Adam is in love with Marion's daughter.
I have never stopped loving you.
Which means Marion might have to take turns being Adam's mother-in-law and sister-in-law.
Well, that's brilliant, darling. So, what'd you think? Ooh, I still have the touch. Bye-bye.
It's been nice getting to know you.